Hey guys, what's up? It's me, it's Emily. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a TBR video for February. Every month, the beginning to middle of the month, I have this thought and I'm like, hey, I want to do something really creative for my TBR videos and like make something up and like do something new for my TBR videos. And then the end of the month rolls around and I'm just like, not this month. So today I'm doing just the old classic Instagram polls, blindly choose my TBR, which I believe was invented by Sarah Caroli. I have 12 books here, so I'm going to be choosing 6 for my TBR. The last 2 months I read 11 books. This month I'm on my 8th book and it's the 23rd. I kind of like having some space to choose books that I want to read that aren't on my TBR list, so I think 6 is just a nice number for me, and I've been able to read almost all of the books that I've been choosing on these videos, almost all of them, besides like 1 or 2, which I think is pretty good. So these results, usually I have a lot of close calls and then maybe 1 or 2 that were like a little more polarizing, but this one, it's pretty much all polarizing, and I didn't really think about like, oh, this set of emojis is probably like way more appealing than the other set. Let's just get into it. So the first book, I have 2 books here. One, I have a double crow emoji, and the other one I have a prince and an angry emoji. So I'm sure that you guessed that the prince and the angry emoji is Cruel Prince, and then the 2 crows, I just have 6 of crows. Could have put 6 crows, but I feel like that was just way too obvious. So these are 2 series that 6 of Crows is a duology, but I really want to read soon. 6 of Crows came in at a 74%. Cruel Prince came in at a 26%. So I guess it's gonna be 6 of Crows for the month of February, and I'm really excited. I really want to read both of these series. I might even read the Cruel Prince in February as well. Yeah, this is like a heist book. I feel like all of these books I've either hauled or talked about on my channel before and like summarized, so I don't want to be repetitive, but you know, feel free to look any of these up. This is 6 Dangerous Outcasts, 1 Impossible Heist. I've said this a few times now, but I want to read the 6 of Crows duology first. I have not read the Shadow and Bone trilogy. Let me know if I should. I just want to give this, I don't know, I want to give the duology a try first because I feel like a lot more people recommend it, but if you've read all 5 of the books, just like let me know what your thoughts are on that. Next, we have 2 more fantasy books, and this is funny because the author of one of the fantasy books that I have here voted, and she did not vote for her own book. So I have a blood emoji and a flashlight emoji, and then I also have a house emoji and a wave emoji. The blood flashlight got 25%, and the house wave got 75%. So the blood flashlight was First Light by Liz Karen, who did not vote for her own book. Sorry, Liz. This I'm probably going to read in February anyway, just because I want to make sure I read it a good amount before the actual release, because this is an advanced copy and I think it comes out in April, so I want to try to like bump it before, you know, like give it a review on Goodreads and Amazon and stuff like before it comes out. So I will be reading this really soon. It's the sequel to Night's Edge, which is a Mommy Dearest vampire story, and it's just like one of the most original ideas ever, and it's so great, and I really loved it. Gave the first one a 5 stars, so I'm excited to read the second one. And then the house wave emoji is the House of the Cerulean Sea, which I've had for like a while on my physical TBR. I'm really trying to get here. Like, so many people recommend this book. So many people of like various ages and career trajectories. Like everyone just loves this book. So it's about these like orphans, 6 dangerous magical children, and they're likely to bring about the end of days, but I think this guy like has to go watch them or something. I hear it's very cute and very wholesome, and so I guess I'm reading it in February. So that was the second book. The third book here, so this was again really polarizing and honestly not in my favor. I did not get my preference in this one at all, and I really should have thought about the appearance and the appeal of the emojis that I was choosing and tried to play it into my favor, and I just did not do that. But so the first set of emojis we have is a book that's open and a princess or a queen maybe, and then the second one is a balloon and an arrow. The book with the princess only got 12%. The balloon with the arrow got 88%. The book with the princess was Once Upon a Broken Heart, which I want to read so badly. I really want to read this trilogy. Like, it has been, there's just a few series, as you can see that have been on my list for so long. I'm reading Crescent City right now, and those are really long books, and I was just I really want to read this. They're quick books. People say they're not as complicated. It's just more of like a storybook, like fairy tale. So I'm definitely gonna read this really soon. Maybe I'll read all of these books in February, who knows. And then the balloon arrow, we have Red Rising by Pierce Brown. His wife is taken, his people enslaved, driven by longing for justice and the memory of lost love. Daryl will stop at nothing to bring down his enemies, even if he must become one of them to do so. I hear amazing things about this book. People love it. The description of this book is so vague. Like, I don't really understand what it's about. I hear it's like a little Hunger Games-esque, a little dystopian. And it is. I also didn't know it was a series. I think it's a trilogy as well. So Red Rising won. So I will be reading Red Rising in February. Book 4, we have an angry emoji with fire, and then we have a emoji with a bed. So the angry emoji with fire got 69%, and the emoji with the bed got 31%. The angry one with the fire is anger. Wisdom for cooling the flames, author of Living Buddha, Living Christ. I think it's Thich Nhat Hanh, I want to say, is the author of this book. I mentioned when I hauled this book that it's an election year. I have a lot of anger during election years. I want to get ahead of myself here and just kind of learn how to not let things get the best of me. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this one because it won this poll. And the other book, which did not win, is How to Do Nothing, Resisting the Attention Economy, which I really also want to read soon. All these books I want to read soon, otherwise they wouldn't be in the polls. So yeah, anger. Let's go. Let's get it. Now we're getting into like a little nonfiction here. The 5th book, this was a little bit closer. I have two people kissing, like romance emoji with a clock, and then I have money and wine. So the two people kissing and a clock got 41%, and the money emoji with the wine got 59%. The people kissing with the clock was Outlander, because it is like a time travel kind of romance book that takes place in Scotland. It was written in like 1991, this book, but there was a series, like a TV series in 2014, so it kind of resurfaced, and my friend was very good taste, bought this for me and told me that I need to read it. So I'll also try to read it in February, but it did not officially make the TBR list because Rules of Civility was the other book, which is a classic, I guess more classic. Is this considered classic literature? I think it is. I don't know. It was written in 1937. It's about like New York City high society in the 30s. And my friend Taylor was like, you have to read this. I'll try to read this like when I'm in New York and not in LA, because I feel like it's a New York book. Okay, and then the 6th book, we have 2 nonfiction, I believe. Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay. So this was also a close call. So we have this like woman going like this and punching. That got 47%. And then there's a movie camera and a surfboard that got 53%. The first book that got 47% is The Story of Jane, the legendary underground feminist abortion service. So this is basically about this like clinic in the early 70s that counseled women and referred them to abortion providers. The group grew and their capacity to help their clients also grew. And it just seems like a really cool case study, but this did not win. So I'll be reading this soon, but just not in February. And then the book that won is Slow Days, Fast Company, The World, The Flesh, and LA. Babbitt's. So I'm just going to be like very basic and reading this when I'm in LA. I just like reading, like if I'm going somewhere, it's cool to like read a book that takes place in that location. So those are my 6 books. Let's do a quick little roundup. Yeah, this feels so random. So book number 1, we have 6 of Crows. Book number 2, House of the Cerulean Sea. Book number 3, Red Rising. A lot of red. Book number 4, Anger. Book number 5, Rules of Civility. And book number 6, Slow Days, Fast Company, The World, The Flesh, and LA. That is not an aesthetic stack of books at all. So let me know, if you've read any of them. And if you've read any of the books, any of the losers. Any of the books that didn't make the cut this month. I obviously am planning to read all of these at some point. All of these books look so much better together. Hold on. Like that's a more aesthetic stack, I think. Looks aren't everything, are they? What's that from? I don't know. Okay, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like it, feel free to give it a thumbs up. Give me a shout in the comments. I'm excited for the month of February. I just feel like January, I'm really kicking it off to like a strong start to the new year with my reading. So I'm excited to take that with me into February and hopefully read all 6 of these books, plus maybe 5 or 6 other ones. So stay tuned for that. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend and I will see you next week. Bye. Bye.